Hello everyone. I had some students request to have a little bit of extra help on this reality check number 6, and so I just wanted to take a little bit of time and explain a few things here that might be helpful for you in order to get this all taken care of and figured out. So let's first of all start by looking at this formula that is given to us. So notice that A stands for the future value because you're trying to figure out how much money Rachel is going to end up with at retirement between the amount that she puts in, the amount her company puts in, and the amount that she makes in compounded interest. So P represents the payment amount, so how much her and her company that she works for puts in. And then R stands for the interest rate per period. We'll get to that in just one second, what that means, interest rate per period. And then N is the number of payment periods, so the total number of times that money is going to be deposited into this account is what that N stands for. All right, so let's look through and read this and make some sense out of the question first of all. So Rachel deposits $200 into her retirement plan each month, and the company that she works for deposits half of what she deposits. All right, so her company is putting in $100 since she's putting $200 in. The retirement plan earns 6% interest per year, compounded monthly, and so then it just tells you here this is an interest rate period, or the interest rate per period is 0.005. And so this gets a little bit confusing here because some students are like, well, do I use this 6%? Do I use this 0.005? What is this? Well, let me show you. So we know that 6%, right, is the same thing as 0.06. And since it's compounded monthly, that means we need to divide it by 12 to figure out how much it is per period or per month, and that gives us that 0.005. So this is the amount that you want, or what you want to use for your R when we're talking about that down here. So let's go ahead and just get that put in here. So 0.005 is what we'll have for that rate. Now our P, remember we talked about up here, Rachel's going to put in 200 and her company is going to put in 100. So there's going to be a total deposit of $300 per month that is put into this retirement plan. Then N sometimes can get a little bit tricky too. So N, right, is the number of payment periods, the total amount of times that she is going to deposit money into that account. So we know that it is compounded monthly and that she's putting things in monthly. So she's going to do 12 times per year, right? But then we also know that she wants to retire in 30 years. So we'll need to take that 12 and times it by 30. 12 times 30 is 360. So there's going to be 360 times that money is deposited into this account, right? And when interest is going to be made on the account. So now you're going to use those things that we found there, put it into the formula, and then figure out how much money she's going to end up with at the end of that 30 years. Now, I want to caution you about a couple of things here because some calculators, you can go ahead and just put in just how it looks here, right? Put it into that formula and it will just give you an answer out. others, you have to follow the order of operations in order to do this. And that's where some mistakes happen. So remember, order of operations says we want to do what's in parentheses first. So we'll do our 1 plus our 0.005. All right, so that would be 1.005 raised to the power, right? Because we do exponents next, so we want to raise it to the 360th power. Then press equals after that to get an answer. Then subtract 1 off of that. All right, then press equals again and divide it by the interest rate again. Press equals and then times it by P, which is our 300, and then press equals again. And then you'll get a lot of digits on your calculator, but then notice that it says it wants you to round to the nearest dollar. Make sure you're rounding to the nearest dollar, not the nearest cent on this. Okay, a lot of times with money we do the nearest cent. Then on question number 2, right, so try not to overthink this. This questions 2 and 3. I think a lot of people make them a lot more difficult than it really is asking here. So now it's telling you if Rachel retired in 40 years, all right, this is the amount of money that she would make. Right, in 40 years. But remember, on question 1, you figured out how much she would have in retirement if she retired in 30 years. So the question is just how much extra money would she have if she retires in 40 years compared to 30 years, right? So how much more will she have? And then on number 3, right, it also is talking about this 40-year plan instead. She wants to retire in 30 years, but maybe she'll have to retire in 40 years instead in order to have enough money to retire on. So this $36,000 that it's talking about here is how much her and the company is depositing into that plan just in those 10 extra years, right? Because remember that it's 12 months and then she's just being able to just for those extra 10 years, right? So that's really 120 times it's being put into there. Anyway, so on this, right, they just want to know how much of the extra money earned is the compounded interest, right? So this is the deposited amount, right? And then you know how much she made, right, put in her retirement plan after 40 years. So how much of this amount is going to be the result of the compounded interest? Okay, so again, try not to overthink some of these problems, but if you have some more questions on what it's asking, please reach out to me and let me know. I am here to help you. Okay, bye.